Hello, my name is Matthew Murray, and this is a prototype for the IP of Commander Kuma. So, in Commander Kuma, players will embark on an emotionally charged alien adventure alongside a brave young bear astronaut, Kuma, and you also have your loyal AI companion, Chip. Together, you will be exploring and documenting strange planets such as this one, known as the Frozen Lands. Your equipment is a pair of booster shoes, which act as your double jump, and you'll be tasked with capturing pictures of wildlife and landmarks using your AI companion Chip, whilst trying to discover the cause of the emotional chaos in this world. So, the frozen lands have been plunged into a deep freeze, forcing all of the inhabitants to live very lonely lives separated from each other, and your job is going to be finding out what's causing this, and be taking some photos of landmarks and creatures along the way. So within the gameplay, you can see that the world has been created with children in mind, with a lot of ways to get back up after failing jumps, and the jumps not being too difficult, and with the booster shoes really providing a lot of air mobility and a way to readjust your landings. As we progress, one of the key themes that I keep trying to reiterate is that this is very much an alien planet with a lot of out of this world kind of elements. So the purple snow, the giant ice webs, the planets in the background, the starry sky, all of this is supposed to constantly reiterate of those themes. And my emotional theming is loneliness, so a lot of the world is supposed to represent this kind of feel with the barren forest, obviously lots of snow, dark colours, lots of blues, and yeah, ultimately quite a separated environment. I try to reflect this in every aspect, even with the river breaking up the pieces of land here, and the river leading into this big icing, which is blocking all the towns of water and a watermill up here. So as we head towards the village, you'll see it's quite snowed in as we go, with the first house we come to be snowed in, so you can see this guy trying to get into his house, but obviously he can't access it, so just reiterating the themes of loneliness and these guys being separated from each other, and suffering with like the watermill being frozen because of the spider webs. Despite these unfair circumstances leading to this loneliness, a core principle of Commander Kuma's IP is that it's about fostering emotional growth. So we have this landmark photo being a moment of Chip scanning the vista, and then taking a photo of Kuma and the alien, sharing a tranquil moment together, yet still as individuals. Within the world's design, I wanted everything to be clear emotionally and feature narratively poignant imagery. So the frozen river being separated itself, spouting from the broken watermill of the village, leading down to the destroyed iceberg path, to the fire and co-half of the level you and the ice alien can see together. So kind of just this constant reminding of key landmarks in terms of player orientation, gameplay beats, as well as the environmental implicit storytelling, also with the more semi-explicit alien emoting towards these points. So yeah, we'll use these also as gameplay beats. As you can see here, we're going towards the windmill, and the giant spider web is here, and you're gonna parkour over on these webs to get to one of the Kuma and Chip landmark spots. And you get a little insight to an area hidden behind the windmill, which the player can go here, such. And then this little path leads over to the frozen lake. I don't think most players will use this path considering the age range of the game, and this being kind of a difficult thing to work out and even do the jumps for. So I thought it'd be nice here just to keep the world open. And it's not like the aliens could use this anyway because they don't have the rocket boosts. So it kind of makes sense. So we go back onto the path with some stones here to kind of highlight the way up to this cave. And upon reaching the top, we will see one of these characters alertedly looking at this cave entrance being blocked. So this kind of just implies that there's something through this wall and you can go around, and the webs kind of lead the player around this anyway. Yeah, just with the cave being blocked, implying where the player to go, and just keep re-implying this idea of these people being separated from each other. So as we come around here, we're seeing another wildlife element, which is a snow beetle laying down these big snowballs that if you walk into them, you'll roll down the hill and have to climb out. Quite a friendly interaction, but obviously this is a kid's game, so we're just gonna have you getting crushed. Another landmark spot. And then we will head into the ice-webbed up village. So as you can immediately see, there is these houses in comically large ice cubes, quite cartoony. And some of the aliens also frozen in their own homes, just to keep showing how bad the coldness here is in the frozen lands. A few characters around just to kind of emote towards where the player should go. We have this guy here trying to reach his friend, but obviously he can't because he's trapped by the snow beetle and the caves are blocked up. Just showing off the sliding a little bit. So, as we reach the base of the glacier towards the mountain, we will climb up just using the environment on these dead trees. Another landmark spot. And upon reaching up here, we'll see some more spider webs and a large frozen lake. This is just a area with the slipping mechanic, so the jumps here are a little bit hard to do, but you also have to kind of use the speed from the low friction to make them. I playtested this quite a lot to try and make this hard, not too hard for any age group. So as you can see, it's quite easy going on how large the platforms are and the way around there, as we saw earlier. And then we are reaching our first puzzle. So this puzzle, just using the slipping mechanic, there's some large cubes ranging from the smallest to the largest, 5 of them. You have to arrange them in to make some stairs up here. Just a simple little puzzle, just kind of let the children kind of diegetically create their own path up the mountain. Because as you can see, you start at the bottom of the glacier and you kind of climb up through, and then you go over this lake, and then you're going to be going up through the mountain and stuff. So I kind of wanted this idea of the ascent constantly being used in my game. And I just thought this was a nice way to diegetically allow the player to do it themselves. Yeah, and now we're reaching the mouth of the mountain into our first interior cave section. I wanted the gameplay in the caves to be quite different, but also still using the mechanics that I've taught the player with Kishon Tonketsu. So this is just a diegetic little puzzle where you push these blocks in and then you jump over them, just using what we've just taught the player. Yeah, I had some lighting bugs in this area too, but it ended up kind of looking nice and kind of like the northern lights that I was going for, but it's a little bit too bright. As you can see, it's like the bloom and then it's the cave. And yeah, just climbing over some more webs. And yeah, reaching the end of that cave section. And out here we'll be returning to the cave entrance that we saw at the start of the game. This is just to let the player know where they're like ending up after the cave segments, as it was a little bit weird just to teleport to a random place. The indoors of the caves are fairly to scale of these, but there's a little bit of discrepancy between them. And now going into the final cave section, we have the world thermometer, which is being webbed up by the ice spiders, and this is the reason for why the world's warmth isn't working. So as the player, you kind of come up here and you're supposed to be pushing these blocks down onto the webs whilst the spiders try and shoot snowballs at you, but this is not a fully functional area due to time constraints, but hopefully you can still kind of understand the vision. The idea was that the spider will be turning FOV and shooting snowballs at the player, which, as you know, push the player down slightly, and whilst you're trying to push these things onto the webs. But yeah, obviously I just have one thing to signify that, and then we have another platforming segment, which is kind of how I'd want it in the final game. And you run around here to one of the final camera points, just using your double jump and a little bit of quick wit. And yeah, as you can see, we get one of the final landmarks points of spiders. And we will see an orange button which will turn on the thermostat after you get rid of all the webs. Yeah, so you just press that and you can be on your merry way. And the idea of that button will be to turn on the thermostat, and the world will change with the houses not being snowed in, the ice cubes unforming, and everyone being allowed to access each other again, and throwing a big party is kind of And now, after saving the day, you reach the peak of the mountain, kind of as like a victory lap, and you get an overview of everything that you've done. We have another little climb up here, as it kind of shows Fire Co, and if you've not done that section of the level already, kind of just hinting it towards the other section. But yeah, the idea was after you press the land, everything in this planet will now be heated up a bit and return to its normal values, as opposed to all the ice and stuff, but just due to time constraints that's not the case. And here is the final landmark spot, right at the peak of the mountain. You get a little overview of everything. And then you have the big slide down the mountain, which in a lot of my drafts and sketches, this area was supposed to be much larger in scope and be its own little like racetrack with obstacles and stuff. But due to the slide mechanic bugging out, I had to just change my my time constraints and just focus on other assets instead. Yeah, kind of just showing off how the area was kind of supposed to be in terms of pacing and the way it looked. But yeah, obviously the slide function not working the way I wanted it to, so the ramp into the village not doing anything. But yeah, just showing off what the kind of intention was for it. And yeah, now we will now leave via the iceberg. I'll run down these rivers in the snow forest. And yeah, this path is supposed to represent about how the frozen lands are so disconnected with the fire location. So the only way to even access this place is now via these broken iceberg shards, because the valley that you entered from is one way and completely snowed in now. And we also see this another landmark element just on the way out. There's just this big ice whale, which the idea was this would come up when you leave, and it would kind of be like a little thank you message or something, kind of something cutesy for emotional growth. Maybe like a family of whales or something like that. I'm not too sure. Kind of another underutilized aspect, but still gets the idea across for the prototype. We come out on top of this iceberg. We get to have a little look at everything we've done in this world, just as a little goodbye to what you've done with Kuma. And you can go back to the start of the world, and you get the bridge over to Fire & Co, which in this video is not complete, but Gus's entry will feature that. So just as a footnote here. Yeah, and thank you all so much for listening. Appreciate it. Thank you. I will now just be covering my overall level design. So as you can see, the world is pretty much split up into a main open region, which I kept open just to make it clear to children to where to go, with key landmarks in pretty much every corner of the map, just so no matter which way you go, you don't end up getting lost ever. I kept it like this because of ages 6 and plus, so yeah, I didn't want the world to be too convoluted. So following around on the natural path, just kind of showing off the contextually relevant points of the map. Frozen houses in the frozen spiderweb. The block cave. A detail that doesn't really show up is that this area has snow. I'd made a Niagara effect system for this, but you can't really see it in the rendering at all, so I apologize. But yeah, the mountain and the lake was supposed to have snow to kind of signify that you're getting higher up, and just reiterating that theme of the ascent. I think in terms of following the IP, I've been very successful here, as the frozen lands are quite a successful alien, exotic, fun to explore wilderness, but still being emotionally charged with the motif of loneliness, and as well as being a cold, barren, lonely alien environment, but still being fun to explore as a child, which is the age group intended for. I think the Frozen Lands hits the nail kind of on the head for this. Mechanically speaking, this project isn't exactly where I'd want it to be, but due to workflow issues and group stuff, it happens. But as far as a block out with its gameplay sections being planned, I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, obviously due to some time restrictions and stuff, some areas are unfinished, like this one for example, but I think the idea comes across, and in terms of making it artistically look nicer, isn't that complex, and making it mechanically work isn't too crazy either, considering the scope. So yeah, that's everything. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.